Hello everybody, my name is Bragster and today I will be reviewing WWE's Fighting With My Family. Now this is a movie that came out last year and it's all about WWE's Paige's journey to the top from Norwich in England all the way to the States where she won the Divas title and basically started the women's revolution in wrestling. Now obviously some of you may not be a wrestling fan like I am, so whereas I will be able to see things from a wrestling point of view, I also have to take things from a film point of view, and whether someone that doesn't really know wrestling will understand it basically and will be compelled by the movie. And I genuinely believe yes. I honestly went into this thinking it's not going to be that good, but it was. From both a wrestling and a film point of view, I think it did both audiences justice. Obviously with the wrestling side they used previous clips, they really hyped WWE, which you expect, and they even used real life wrestlers. So you had Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, who actually helped produce this movie. You also had The Big Show, Sheamus. You had wrestler Zelina Vega portraying AJ Lee in this. And yeah, it's really nice because you're almost taken on the journey with Paige throughout the whole movie, and from her as a young child all the way up to when she conquered it. That's not a spoiler, by the way. I would like to point that bit out. It's a true story, so technically no spoilers with this one, but it just showed it from start to finish. And yeah, it really portrayed everything really well. The music was really loving and really upbeat, but there were certain moments where it did show the downside. Now I thought it was going to fall into the trap of, okay, this is Paige's story, let's only focus on Paige and Paige alone, and it didn't fall into that, very surprisingly actually. I was expecting it to fall into that sort of trap, where it only follows Paige, but it also followed a brother, Zach Zodiac, who's another wrestler, again in Norwich, and I genuinely, it's nice to see the side of when you don't get into WWE or the family part of it, seeing how the family take it on, the impacts on family. This is very much a family orientated movie. Doesn't mean you can't watch it on your own, but it very much is a feel good family film, and with wrestling elements in, which is fine. Why should a movie be penalised because it focuses on wrestling? It's got funny moments, but it's not corny. You know, it very much follows everything to a T, all of her journey through the performance centre, which is where the wrestlers are developed, all the way to the main roster, using audio clips from the wrestling, but also showing the bad side of women's wrestling. And I'm not saying women's wrestling is bad whatsoever, but there was a time, if you haven't seen wrestling, a few years ago when Paige was on the rise, women's wrestling was all about models and everything. That's portrayed in the movie actually, and they do a very good job. Fair play to WWE for actually criticising their product, which they don't do very often, but they criticised it because it was wrong, you know, rather than these female wrestlers being built up and being proper wrestlers like they are today. They had them as models, as eye candy really for the fans, which is just wrong on so many levels. It is wrong. But Paige is one of the reasons why that started to change. Why everything started to change for the women to become what they are today. Now, unfortunately, Paige is no longer wrestling as she severely injured her neck, which means that if she wrestles again, she might be put into, might be paralysed basically. And she had to have an emergency operation, I think about a week ago. If you want to know more on the wrestling side, a good YouTube channel to look at is Cultaholic. Genuinely think they are phenomenal at this stuff, and that they do so many good wrestling content. So if you're into that stuff, watch them. But yeah, about a week ago she had to have an emergency operation, which is quite frightening. But she seems okay now. But this movie really did her and her career justice. You know, she was a phenomenal wrestler, phenomenal. And it's such a shame that her career was cut short, because she had so many years ahead of her. She really did. But yeah, fair play to everyone involved. It was a really good feel-good movie. It was just nice. It was uplifting, even though it really did have some tough parts, because Paige's family, they ain't perfect at all. You know, they've been through some horrible times. A couple of her family have been in prison, which is also portrayed in the movie. They didn't hold back with this movie, and that was one of the joys of it. They really didn't hold back at making sure you knew her journey in and out. Obviously there were a few inaccuracies, which as a wrestling fan and knowing how the matches went in Paige's career, that was a bit of a negative for me, because it wasn't 100% accurate. Certain aspects that they said happened didn't actually happen in real life, which was a bit of a negative for me, but not enough to bring down what I thought about it. And yeah, and the other negative, and I don't want to put too many negatives on this, but they didn't show Paige's NXT career at all. And that was a disappointment. To go from being in the Performance Centre to all of a sudden being on the main roster, that's not what happened. Not what happened at all. Paige went into NXT. She was the first NXT Women's Champion. NXT is the developmental brand, which is shown in the movie, but you don't ever get to see her journey in NXT, which was one of the highlights of her. She's not only in history for being the youngest Divas champion, or women's champion as it is today, but hey ho. Then, sorry, that was my laptop if you heard that. But, and again, but yeah, it didn't show her NXT career at all, and I don't get it. I don't get it. That was one of the highlights of her career, was her becoming the first ever NXT Women's Champion. She is in history, not only on the main roster, but also in NXT, which is huge nowadays. So that's the only two negatives for me. Everything else, it was feel good. It was really fun to watch. Quite comedic in parts. And yeah, I highly recommend this movie to you. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, it's worth a watch. It's just enjoyable from a film point of view, and if you are a wrestling fan, definitely watch it. Especially if you're a fan of Paige, because I do believe it does her justice. And that's all I have to say about this movie, really. So yeah, I recommend you go and watch it. It's on Netflix now. I don't think it's not long came out on Netflix, so get on top of it. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. So if you like what I'm doing, remember to subscribe down below to keep up to date with my uploads. I'm hoping to upload almost every day, trying to keep on top of things. I will be doing some TV shows soon. I think I've got a video coming out tomorrow maybe on it, maybe even today if possible, but definitely tomorrow on it. I'll get a video on that. On a TV show, and so please subscribe if you want to see more of that. please hit the like button, because it just helps me know what you like. And if you've got any questions or any comment, really, put it in the comment section. I'm very reasonably quick with replying when I can. I'll reply to your comment. I like to see what you guys think of my stuff. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!